Hello everybody, James here. Now this is one of my rare updates at the moment for this channel, just because I'm so busy with everything else at the moment, but I do promise to actually do more on this channel. I will be doing a lot more on this channel in upcoming weeks and months, so bear with me on that. But big news came across my desk a few minutes before, and I'm actually about to record with Stevie Richards, in fact, but I want to make a video on it, is that WWE has sold their rights to their major PLE events to ESPN. This is a $1.6 billion deal that's going to be paid off. $325 million. I've got the article here from CNBC. $325 million per year for 5 years for just the US rights, not international rights. So I'm sure VPNs will be firing up all over the place to get the cheaper Netflix streaming thing, but that's by the by. US rights to the WWE's biggest live events, including WrestleMania, the Royal Rumble, and SummerSlam beginning in 2026, according to people familiar with the matter, who declined to be named speaking about the deal specifics. Spokespeople at WWE and ESPN declined, if I can say it, declined to comment as well. Now, Peacock previously paid $180 million for a 5-year deal for the pay-per-view package, according to two people familiar with the matter. I'm really trying to rush here, but bear with me. But here's the thing. I think the question is going to be, is it going to be pay-per-view on ESPN, sort of like how UFC works, or is it going to be just streamed on ESPN's new streaming platform that's coming out for $29.99? Well, if we go back to the article here, it says all 10 of WWE's premium live events will each year stream. It says each year will stream on ESPN's new $29.99 month blah 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 direct-to-consumer platform. And also US select events will be simulcast on ESPN's linear networks as well. That's telling me that it's not going to be pay-per-view. It's going to tell me, I'm sure, we'll find out in the months when it's confirmed. That's sort of telling me that they're not going to be pay-per-view, and it's going to be remaining as PLEs, premium live events, where it's just included in the price. That's my guess. Doesn't mention anything about pay-per-view. It also mentions that Mark Shapiro, TKO's president and chief operating officer, was once again an executive at ESPN in the early 2000s, and he says in many ways it is our destiny, said Shapiro, to expand the audience and fan base and further around WWE. Now, putting Raw on Netflix really hasn't worked out for that kind of thing, but hopefully with ESPN it will. But the thing here is a bigger story. ESPN is also expanding its NFL coverage as well in a separate deal. But the biggest story, rather than WWE just moving from Peacock to ESPN, and how much that's going to mean for them revenue-wise, is that cable is dying in the States. It's probably dying here as well, and I'm pretty sure it is. But it's really, really dying in the States because in some quarters, millions of people in just a quarter are dropping cable and cutting the cord, as they say. And this is pretty much going to be the biggest nail in the coffin for cable, because sports, especially the NFL and whatever else it might be, were relatively ratings fall proof. Wrestling has proved to be decently holding on to its audience. It's still losing audience, of course, but it's not losing, it's not receding at the same rate as a lot of other programs that are non-sports or sports-based. But ESPN shifting its focus onto an over-the-top streaming service is probably going to be the biggest nail in the coffin for cable in the States. And it's getting to the point now that cable companies in the States aren't even trying to get new buyers, quite frankly. They're just trying to retain the ones they've got because they see the writing on the wall, whether it's going to be a few years or 10 years or whatever it is. But cable is really, really struggling, and it's only going further downhill. And moving all the sports stuff to over the top, or maybe not moving, they'll simulcast a lot of it, I imagine, if they're going to do that with WWE stuff. But moving a lot of the sports stuff for $29.99, which a lot of people buy cable for exclusively, is going to hasten the decline of cable as well. But once again, this was just a bit of big news, is that in the US only, pay-per-views, or PLEs, are going from Peacock, and they are going to ESPN's upcoming over-the-top service. So there you go. That is the news. And I will catch you again whenever I've got a free few minutes and enough interesting news to broadcast to you.